Howdy everyone, it's First Time Frest here, and I'm going to be doing a short video on Yanfly Engine's new plugin about augments. I recently found it, and I will leave a link in the description, and I'll also put an annotation in, probably in the top right corner, for Yanfly's page. They come up with different plugins for RPG makers, and they're all awesome. If I go to my plugins and it shows it on the video, it's not looking like it does, but I have a lot of their plugins right now, and one of them is the augments that you can attach to um, your items and armor slots. And I don't know why it isn't showing up. Okay, there we go. Alright, so for your items, you can attach like glyphs or orbs or whatever you want. On your weapons, you have to attach this note, which you can find in the help of the plugin. And then you can change these middle ones to whatever you want. You can have it like this sword can only have a rune and an orb and no glyphs, or it can have two orbs and a glyph and a rune. You can have it whatever you want, and then you can also do it for your armors. I don't have any on yet. I want to. These are just the default slots and the names for it. You can definitely change them to whatever you want. I will be changing them. I don't know what to yet. I want to make something original yet. Fun. And exciting. Something that fits into my game, which these could, but I don't want to just throw them in there like nothing. And then for your items, you'll need to have a note like this. You can change the augment right here. It says orb. Under the glyphs, it'll say glyph, so it knows which slot that can be accessed into. And then you can change stuff like add element fire, and then you'll change the fire to water, or like this one says water. You can change parameters. You can change elements. You can change types. You can add skills. You can take away skills. You can add the price. If you add a glyph to an item, the price of the item or the sword will go up by a desired value. You can basically change anything about your characters with this augment system. You can change the prefix of the item that is equipped to. I'll show that later, and that is awesome. It makes making these fit into the game a lot easier for the person who is playing to understand how they work and what they actually do. Like example, the blue glyph changes the prefix to wet. I'll show you what that means. Yes. Alright, let's see. Why is this not? Come on. Hopefully this isn't too loud. I can control the volume there, but I will turn that off for now until I can get it to actually load on my recording software. There we go. And start a new game. And just going through the basics. And then I set in some in-game cheats so that I can have the money I need to test different items and parts about my game. And I'll just buy a sword for now. And you go to your, not your skills, your items, and I show those items because I picked them up, 60 of each. And I have one sword here, and I also have the upgrade plugin from Yanfly. I still have yet to figure out how to use it, and it's just not something that I have gotten time to do, and something that I don't know if I even want to do now that I can put in runes and glyphs and whatever I want. But for the glyph, you'll just enter in on that. It says there's nothing. I'll change it to the red glyph, and as you can see, it changed the name of the sword to Flame Sword. And then I can detach that and add the blue one, which changes the name to a Wet Sword. And then I can add a blue orb. And if you look at like my attack, I have the blue orb to increase my attack by a certain amount. I'll attach that, and it changes my attack up 100. And I can have the blue glyph and the blue orb attached at the same time. It'll make my sword name Wet Sword, and it'll boost my attack. I can detach the orbs, and I can add that one, which raises one attack, or that one by 200 attack, or just detach them. And as you can see, if I go to the mark, nothing will appear because I have not put in the notes of any of my items that they are considered mark, and the same thing for runes. And the only two things that I have in my inventory that are considered glyphs would be the red and the blue. And I can do this for as many different types of weapons that I have added that set of notes to. Like if I buy an axe and then go into my items and go to my axe, I can change that, and it'll now be called the Flame Axe, and the orb, adding attack to it. And this one I'll add the same stuff. So now that I only have 58 blue orbs and such. This is like I said, a great plugin by Yanfly. You can do so much with it, and I think it helps the game, or the person who's playing your game, understand what they do, especially with that prefix changing. You can also change the base word of it, and you can change the icon that it has. There's so much that you can actually change in the with the up here. Now you can see these are all the plugins that I have, and if I go here, that shows up. Here you can change. Is that gonna show up now? Okay, here you can change the glyphs, the marks, the orbs, whatever you want to be on. And then if you go to the help, it'll help you know what you need to insert into your notes. It'll give you all the different effects with the parameters, and increasing by percentages or flat rates, increasing and decreasing the price, putting that you cannot detach the augment once it is on there, changing attack states, elements, skills, resistances, the icon, like I said, the prefix, the suffix. There's so much. You can even change the text color. There's so much that you can do with this, this plugin that I am going to start implementing into this game that I have. The King's Trials. When I play, or when I go through this, I'm definitely going to be implementing it into all my weapons and armor, and I'll actually probably make some weapons and armors that are so high in stats that they won't need augments, or that is one of their downfalls, or their risks is that you can't use augments, but there'll be other advantages to having them, which I think this can this just brings a whole new level to your game making and what you can do with the items and armors and weapons. But that'll be all for now. That's just the basics of the augmenting system, the augmenting plugin. I have to give credit where credit is due. Yanfly Engine does an awesome job. They have a lot of different plugins. Like I said, I'll probably put another annotation right now, and I'll make this one the bottom left corner just to give some practice for me. But definitely check out their website, or their their YouTube page. They preview what they're going to upload. They show how to use their different plugins. They're very fan friendly. They're very awesome about letting people use their stuff. They have free downloads on all their plugins, I believe. I mean, that's where I got this one. They're just an amazing set of people who that do it, and I believe it's a couple people that do it. I don't know how many, but um, they have definitely helped my games, um, improve so much upon just what they offer in their simplest plugins. But that's going to be all for now. I have a lot of stuff to do in this game that I have to make and release, and have a lot of alphas given out. But if you have any questions or any other makers of plugins that are awesome that you know of, definitely comment and tell me about them. I'll definitely check them out, and if I think they're awesome too, I'll incorporate them into my games, and I'll probably make a video on them if I think they're super awesome, like this one is, that just change your game entirely. I mean, that can make your game go from a free game to selling it on Steam for $2 to $3 and making a couple $1,000s. I mean, it just makes gameplay so much more fun when it's so much more dynamic and deep, I'd say. But I still need to find a closing statement to talk